fantastic finish by our guys today. Showed a lot of heart and toughness and grit in this game. I thought we were battling a little bit of mental and physical fatigue at times. Miami's a very strong, athletic team that does a lot of things really well, and certainly the score isn't indicative of the way that the game was played. It was nip and tuck, and we needed all 12 threes. We shot it great, and Dante was fantastic. I thought, being somewhat tired after a very physical game at State, but to make those shots was huge. And then obviously Mark Donnell's threes in the second half were a big lift, and found a way to get a few stops, make some free throws down the stretch to seal. Questions?
So it's just kind of another look, Brad, as far as this team's maturity and, like you just mentioned, battling through the fatigue on a short break and overcoming the disappointment of that tough loss the other night.
Yeah, we have an experienced group, so I think that helps. It doesn't help you be any less tired, but it does help you understand the importance of things. And I was a little more animated tonight than I've been with them, and got after them a few times because I did think we had some mental mistakes that we haven't made as much this year, and we had several of them today. I think some of it maybe was just a little bit of fatigue. And the other thing, I wanted them to see their coach, with energy and passion and things today. And if I'm expecting that of them, they need to look over. They don't need to see me sitting down and just being calm. They need to know that this is like we're all fighting, and our coaches are tired. We've been watching film and trying to get prepared, and not sleeping much and working. And I'm just proud of the way our guys continue to battle. And we made some big plays again at the end of the game offensively. And luckily they didn't shoot it quite as well today. We had just enough stops to pull away at the end and get some free throws to win it.
Coach, packed house today, biggest crowd you've had in quite some time. How much were you guys able to feed off that energy today?
Yeah, great crowd. Just great to see that many students in the game. We've had some decent student turnouts, but and the community's been great. The community's been out a lot this year, really supporting this team. And it's just fun for our players to play in front of their classmates. I think it means a little more because they're here early. Guys know it. You come to the arena and there's a line out the door and around the building, and that gives our guys juice. There's no doubt about it. It had an impact on the win for sure.
Brad, when you talked about battling, when the other team is having the success they were having on the offensive glass, how much harder is that emotionally?
It's hard when you defend them, get them to miss, and then you got to do it again, or they just put it back in. It's like the first, we talk about it a lot. Let's not guard them for 25 seconds, get them to take a bad shot, and then they out-tough us or out-physical us for the ball. We got to either do it again or they're laying it in. It doesn't make much sense. Now, we made a couple tactical errors where I thought Eli was trying to come over and block too many shots. Kept trying to tell him that you need to stay home. Like, he left his position at least twice, maybe 3 times, and they scored every time. Because now Huell's going to the rim, and even when they miss the shot, it's a layup. And so that's not good basketball. And so being smart about when to go attack a driver, when to stay home, that's something we got to continue to coach Eli on.
Brad, Mark said that he hits those kind of threes in practice. Are you comfortable when he's out there by himself?
Yeah,
being able to
yeah, absolutely. He's, that's one of his best attributes is his ability to play away from the basket, make plays, and Mark Donnell's been great. He's a 5th-year guy who comes from a winning program, and he's playing 15 minutes for us, meaningful minutes. But Eli's our starter and the guy that plays more minutes, and Mark just comes to practice every day and does what you need him to do. Unbelievable teammate. Guys love him. He's extremely quiet. He just kind of goes about his business. But he does it almost like a professional. He's a professional in the way he handles himself and carries himself and practices. And because of that, our guys love him. So when he makes a shot, you see our whole bench jump up because they love him. And they appreciate the sacrifice he's making and the kind of young man he is. And, it's just been a lot of fun to have him around. Just a funny story. So he came from Michigan. My former player and an assistant coach at Michigan at the time, Billy Donlin, obviously was trying to help me a little bit in the recruitment. And he told me, when Mark committed and was coming, he goes, now he plays better when you get mad at him. He goes, he really is very even keel. He almost never changes expression, ever. And there's a lot of truth to that. And so the play before, he made a bad defensive play. And so, being as I was very animated today, I let him have it pretty good. Ironically, he goes in and makes the next 2 threes. So, and I've talked about that. I'm figuring out what to be mad at him for before we go to Chapel Hill. So, I'll find something here.
Is there a secret to managing the good things that are going on in the national ranking, social media, hearing all the good things about the team? How do you
Don't pay any much attention to it. To be honest with you, it's again, I'm happy for our players. It helps in a lot of ways. But it doesn't help once they throw the ball up. It doesn't help 1 second. Nobody cares. It doesn't matter to us that Miami was ranked, NC State wasn't. We know, and anybody in this league, there's great players. There's a lot of pros on every team. And if you don't play well, you're not going to win. And I always say this, you can play well and lose. And you can't let that beat you up. You got to just try to keep fighting as long as you can. And obviously it's rewarding when your guys make plays and you can build some momentum with some wins, and certainly that's happened. But for our team to battle the way we did at NC State when we were really down on our back, and it wasn't just the last minute 30. Like we were losing in rounds too. And I tell our guys at halftime, it feels like we're getting knocked into the corner every time I look up. But then you look up and we always fight back to the middle of the ring. We just we're down a basket, and I thought we did that throughout the game. I thought we did it throughout the second half. And then with 1.5 minutes to go, we probably had the standing 8 count, but we came back and, we almost put it to overtime. And so I'm as proud of that about this team as anything. That's hard to do, and it's hard to keep doing it. We're not so talented that we can just go out there and play just okay and beat these teams. We have to play well, and we have to give great energy and effort. We have to be prepared and focused. It helps having older players because that's what enables us to do it more often.
What about the accomplishments you've had at home? What attributes can you take on the road? Is there anything that transfers with the fact that playing on the road is so different in this league versus playing at home?
No, I mean, your guys got to be in those environments, and you need to embrace it as a player. And you can't be worried about what's going on outside the lines. They're going to call you names when you're in warm-ups and when you're sitting on the bench, and it happened at Ohio State, and in Florida it was neutral, but it really wasn't neutral. And we've done fine, and it was hostile at NC State. Their fans were into it. It was a big game, and we played reasonably well. We turned the ball over, which was bad, but in other aspects of the game, we rebounded, we guarded them decent, made some mistakes in scouting on year 7. But our guys have competed. We fought. We battled. You just got to keep doing it. That's what you got to do. You got to embrace that and want to do it every time out.
Coach, 16 of 17 at the free throw line today, and ironically, you missed a tough one at NC State. But how much has that factored into?
It helps. There's no question in close games that when you make shots, make free throws to keep the other team at bay. We obviously have done that in several games. It's a valuable part of the game, and I think it's a lot more difficult than people realize. Like, we can all think about the one Gabe DeVoe missed. Folks, the 2 that he made, I mean, I don't know if I wanted to be up there. I mean, it was about 17,000 people going crazy, and he has to make 3. Like, there ain't many people in the United States making 3. I mean, it was, to make the first 2, it took a lot of guts. And then obviously they called the timeout, and he missed one. I mean, that's hard. So he did a heck of a job on that in that situation.
Was the first play of the game drawn up for him on purpose as a result of that?
It was.
Probably have time for one more.
How do you combat the fatigue factor over the next 48 hours? Now you've got another quick
Yeah, it's
turnaround.
hard. It's funny. Somebody on TV asked me, what do we do? Make 12 threes? I said, we didn't shoot yesterday. It's funny. We didn't. I made a decision. We didn't do anything. We watched 30 minutes of NC State clips to teach from, because there's a lot of things that we could use in this game from that teaching. We ate a sandwich together. We went back in and watched 30 minutes of Miami clips. Then we walked through some Miami things. And we didn't shoot one free throw. We didn't shoot one shot. We didn't do anything. We got them off their feet, away from basketball, and had them energized this morning, I thought, to that was the most important thing, was to try to have the energy necessary to compete against a very good Miami team. And it'll be the same against North Carolina.
Brad, Marquise didn't particularly have a great shooting game most of the night, but the last 3 minutes, he's there when you need him. His ability to block out what happened before, that's got to be
Yeah,
real
it's funny. That's who he is. good or bad sometimes.
Yeah.
But like me yelling at him missing a couple plays, making a bad turnover, rarely bothers him. Rarely bothers him. He's a pretty even-keeled guy, and he's got he's got strong conviction about him, and that's why he's a good player. Is he believes in himself. Even if he's made a couple bad plays, he doesn't think he's going to make a bad play. He thinks he's going to make the next right play. He beats himself up when he does, but he struggled for most of the night. Some of it, Miami did some good things, and he missed a couple shots, but obviously at the end he was huge.